Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Dan Kessous, CEO of Nasdaq Canada, to discuss trends in the Canadian equity market and regulatory developments. Dan, it's great to see you. As always, welcome back to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. Good to see you. And thanks for having me again on your show.
You got it. And as Q1 is ready to wrap up here, what are some of the market trends in Nasdaq products you want to highlight?
Yeah, so Q1 has been a pretty good quarter for Nasdaq Canada, both from a volume and share perspective, but also from a product perspective. So if we look at market volumes, they have been lower than the same period last year, but it didn't really surprise us. We expected market volumes to drop a little bit, coming out of the pandemic and with the rising interest rate environment. So no surprise there. We had a bit of a peak mid-March with the bank's turmoil period, but overall volumes are still about 20% lower than last year, which again is right around where we expected them to be. Market share itself has been pretty strong, holding at 21%, and that's been driven by products, like a lot of product growth and demand. Our dark pool, I mentioned it last time I was on, it's been growing nicely and well. We've reached days over 3%, and we still have clients at order flows looking to onboard. Our lot facility is another one that we have been growing nicely. When we started trading out lots, we were at about 5% of the share of the lot market, and with the redesign and relaunch last year, we reached over 20% and was holding steady at above 20% of total market share in odd lot. So that's a pretty good performance there for us. And then in early March, we updated our CX2 pricing, tweaked it a little bit, and we're starting to see some of the positive effects of those changes already.
As you look ahead to the second quarter, what product launches or new initiatives should we be aware of?
Yeah, so there's one product that's really important to us and our clients that we launched in Q4 last year. That's our new block trading order type, PureStream. PureStream matches large orders and trades them at a percentage of the market. As trades happen on the broad market, user can set a percentage and they can participate in that percentage to the extent of their rates that they set. And that's done with minimizing price impact. So when the order is done and the block is completed, you have a string of executions that represent the prices that the market traded at, and you have a total volume priced at a VWAP. We spent the last few months onboarding clients, talking to them, helping them integrate this order type to the algos. We've got some really good feedback. So there's a few tweaks that we want to make to improve the product even further, and that'll be happening in Q2. Another Q2 launch is our Neo listed. So today we trade TSX Senior, TSX Venture, and CSE listed securities. We'll be adding Neo listed securities, and with that, we'll be trading all Canadian listed securities with no exceptions. We've had very good feedback from clients again on that one. It's launching early May. We have good support from market makers, so we expect to be launching with very good and solid liquidity very early on.
And finally, Dan, any policy or regulatory developments?
Yeah, there's a couple I can think about that are worth mentioning. One is Canadian and proper to Canada. The other one is in the US, and you probably, your audience and yourself would be familiar with it. But I'll start with the Canadian one. Our regulators proposed published a consultation paper on market data and market data fees. A very comprehensive review that they did on the lay of the land today for market data in Canada. And they're looking at everything from licensing, distribution, fees, you name it. It's a pretty complex issue with a lot of diverging opinions. And as a result, if we look at the comment letters that have been received so far, they reflect that differences of opinion. So I don't see a very strong consensus out there as to how this should move forward and what should change. So, we'll see whether the regulators would look to introduce new rules or change some of the existing rules, but that'll take a while. It's still early on. And again, it's just a consultation paper. It's just to get people's opinion. And based on that, they might publish, some rule changes for comment. So there's still some time before we can see any changes, if at all. And then the other one is the SEC market structure proposed changes, or also known as the Gensler agenda. It's been front and center in the US since it was published. It's something that we pay very close attention to in Canada because there's a couple of aspects of that proposal that, if they go forward, would definitely have an impact on Canada. And if we want to remain competitive, we'll have to follow some of those changes and adapt them to Canada so we can keep in line and competitive vis-a-vis the US.
All right, Dan, appreciate the insight and updates as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm
Thank you.
Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.